I come before you now naked, raw, and honest, unfiltered. I come before you now and tell you that I strongly suspect, that there are 100 at the most, certainly not 100, less than 100 souls currently living that have reached enlightenment. The rest of us are in various stages of self awareness, transformation, and each person's awakening is different, unique. And all awakenings, therefore, are not all the same. The circumstances, the results, the levels of awakening. And you can pretty much identify three possible outcomes to a spiritual awakening experience: a spiritual emergence, a Kundalini awakening, which I can truthfully, honestly, with veracity, speak to you about. And I have done so since it took place. That took place September 24th of 2021. And I'm standing here naked, giving you the raw, giving it to you raw, the truth, unfiltered, unmitigated. That my life transformed, changed dramatically. Now, and I've been very careful and very studious to identify what that meant as far as what I could share with truth and honesty. And I do believe I have been very careful since that September 24th of 2021 with the videos and the information dissemination videos that I've shared as far as representing that experience and myself and the message, which has varied and been very multitudinous, has had a lot of variety. I've talked about a lot of things, but invariably stay tethered with the foundation of that experience, which was very dramatic for me, totally changed my life, healed me, changed my habits, which were destructive habits, changed my life. And I'm eternally thankful for that. Now, my intuition was greatly responsible for leading me to a particular video on YouTube by Sadhguru that was an 11-hour, 11-minute, and 11-second video of mantra that I worked with. That was the response, that was the nexus, that was the impetus to begin uncoiling those energies from my Muladhara, my spine, the coccyx, the base of the spine area, uncoiling those energies. And I worked with that video for that entire length of time. And there was a catalyst point where I had taken a break and went outside and was looking into the sun, which I had never done before, and which when I came back in to begin working again with the video, that sunlight, along with working with the mantra and the sounds and singing along, chanting along, it released that energy. So, and I've made videos about that experience and tried to present as much detail, but the transformation is what is significant and what is most noteworthy. And people either achieve through any kind of spiritual awakening, a spiritual experience, emergence, Kundalini awakening. I believe I had a full activation. That doesn't mean that I became enlightened. I believe that I became transformed. That the self, myself, my personality was changed. That I was introduced to a more highly ordered form of consciousness, integrated, which I've always understood enlightenment as integration, where I was no longer my own worst enemy, where I had my reckoning with my life up to that point. And I began what is known as a project of transcendence, an ongoing transformation that I have been working on myself, integrating my shadow since that point. So it's important to understand that this type of experience, this awakening, this can lead to enlightenment. Like I said, I don't believe that there are less than 100 people that are enlightened. I do believe that Sadhguru is an enlightened individual, the person, the organization, Isha Kriya Yoga Foundation, and the mantras and their music that I worked with. I believe that is one of the enlightened souls on this planet. I believe he's a great teacher. There are many great teachers. We all can be one another's teachers. But this enlightenment is very rare. And many people are still dealing with their ego filters, their little pet peeves, and they're coming from different angles. And many people have mistaken awakening for enlightenment. Most people have become, through their spiritual experience, more aware, self-aware, aware of the personal issues, unresolved trauma, addictions, mental illness, these things. But this Kundalini awakening, a significant spiritual awakening, ultimately can be ascertained or measured by the evidence of that person's life, the changes that have taken place in that person's life, the real transformation, a genuine awakening, and how that has impacted their life. My life was severely, momentously changed. An integration process began that has been going on for years and will take place for the rest of my life. But I can tell you that I have significantly put behind me my fear of death. I am no longer my own worst enemy. I speak with integrity. And I am in my own way seeking to serve humanity and offer videos and also integration, examples of integration. But it is by no means meant to misrepresent myself as an enlightened guru. So, but this has been a dramatic experience for me that took place, and I have sought to share that experience and really feel qualified to talk about that there is proof, at least in my own life, and you can see this reflected in the world's, the other avenues, sources of information and such, that this experience is very real. But we have to be very careful about how we represent that experience, because awakening is not enlightenment. It is the process that allows for deeper transformation. And that is essentially what I feel compelled and qualified to share with you, dear viewer, is that the reality of your energy is more real than the reality that you get in the third dimensional news and the figures in the spotlight of the political figures and such. And those are just sort of distractions, and people like to kind of play around with those distractions in that realm and try to create drama and whatnot. But ultimately, that is not that is not real. Those are just elements for you to take in your own personal walk and ultimately integrate your shadow so your core values are evident and that you have achieved gnosis, spiritual knowledge about who you are, what your mission is, and you're open, your conduit is open to source to receive your guidance from your higher self. And that is what will guide you. And essentially, the transformation of spiritual awakening is meant to clear out, to clean out, and I've described that time and time again, that the sensation, the awareness that I had that this Kundalini God force burned all falsehood from within me and put me in direct connection to source, where I was guided, where I intuitively was guided along, and my life has been a beautiful golden river of joy and not so much, it's just joy from doing the right thing and being in the right place at the right time and making the right decisions and being within that love of source that guides everything. And that ultimately is what I'm thankful for with my experience, and with veracity and truth and raw, naked honesty, I can tell you that there is a reality of energy, of eternal energy that is God, and that is our path to walk, to achieve, to become connected to. So connect. Leave this video a thumbs up and connect with the Umbanda New Earth Ashram as we present raw, naked truths upon this path of a spiritual enlightenment, awakening for the new golden age. Namaste, namaskaram.